Welcome everyone into yet another personal branding session for CreatorCon LinkedIn edition. I'm really excited to have such a great lineup of speaker on board regarding the same. So today these esteemed panelists are going to talk about and highlight and shed some light on the particular topic. This is utilizing the platform to enhance personal branding and boost the business presence. And I would request Mr. Yogesh Agarwal, who is the founder and CEO of Revamp Tribe, and the session lead for this particular session, to please lead and take it ahead. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you.
Hey, hi Shubham. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. And hey everyone, how's the evening going? As of now, it's already 3. We are into the evening and everybody looks very kind of charged up as of now. Hi Mahima, hi Priya, hi Yash, hi Anya.
Hi.
Hey, hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
So probably one of the reason we all are here is because of our personal brands, and that's what we are going to talk about. I think so. When we started LinkedIn, nobody knew us and we did not know each other. And because now exactly we have made our brands, it's very easy to identify each other. It is always said, and we give the example of, when we think about boat, we think Aman Gupta. When we like the same way, when we think about personal branding, sorted brand, we think of Maima. Again, when we think about the career side of the career part as well as the personal branding side, we think of Priya. When we talk about women empowerment and her hug, we think Anya. And again, when we talk about Mercedes as a brand with whom Yash is attached, as well as someone who's a LinkedIn influencer, we also think Yash. So that's the impact that personal brand makes. So I'll give the audience an overview exactly what's going to happen here. So we all started from scratch and we made the brands here. And probably you guys are one of the very prominent personal brands out there on LinkedIn. But the people out there want to know that exactly how did you make it, and there are a lot of confusions they have. So probably the questions I'm going to ask you is what these people are asking you. But before that, we'll go for a brief introduction, starting with Yash, like a 1 minute introduction of what you do and why did you start LinkedIn in the first place. Go ahead, Yash.
Yeah, thank you, Yogesh, for that brief introduction. Yeah, I think my name is Yash. I'll just quickly give my introduction. I work with Mercedes at the moment. I'm also a career coach, public speaker, stand-up comedians once upon a time. And yeah, I think these are the things which I do. And why I started LinkedIn is, to be very frank, as a student, when I was trying for a career switch from a service-based company to a product-based company, that's where I thought to use LinkedIn as a platform to get a job opportunity. That was the whole intention behind it. But when I got my dream opportunity and when I started, exploring this platform and trying the students to also, get this opportunity and trying them uh, about their career goals. In that case, I think my LinkedIn kind of started growing, and yeah, I think that's the sole reason of keeping up with LinkedIn to grow as many individuals as possible.
So you have approximately 1.5 lakh followers on LinkedIn right now, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when did you start LinkedIn? How much time did it take for you to grow to that kind of audience?
I think, to be very frank, there was one post, a viral post. I still remember it got around 30K likes, something like that. And within a week, I grow from 0 to 40K, something like that, followers. And for that particular post only helped me to grow to this audience. But if you accumulate all years, it would be around 2 years. So in this 2 years, I'll be touching around 1.5 lakh. Yeah.
Perfect. That's great, yaar. A huge round of applause for you, yaar. You have done a commendable job. As well as, guys, everybody who's watching, because Yash is attached with Mercedes, you never know. Whatever you learn from Yash today, you write it on LinkedIn, tag him, and you get a Mercedes from him. You never knew he kind of can request the company to give the same to you. Anyway, going ahead, let's go with Anya. So, Anya, we have met before in SRCC. We were the part of the same panel and it was fun and interesting. So I'm really inspired by the work you're doing in the industry, the women empowerment, and kind of I always keep on seeing your posts. Recently, you went to New York as well, if I remember, for certain things. So tell me what's going on, a little bit about you, and when did you start LinkedIn?
So I'll quickly introduce myself a little bit as well. I'm Anya, 23 years old, graduated from LSR, did history honors. Clearly, I'm doing nothing related to that. I run my own non-profit. It's called Her Huck, and I work with women on ground on menstrual hygiene, financial literacy, and legal literacy. I'm also working at a venture capital firm in India right now. It's called Beyond Capital Ventures. We have a global team and invest in India and Africa with a social impact lens, and it's a women-led fund. Everything else is boring, so I will skip it. I also create content on LinkedIn, like you very rightly said. I think I started towards the last year of my college, not because I wanted to be a content creator, but everybody told me that, oh, to have a good future, for this possibility of getting a job, maybe you should talk a little about what your journey is, or what you're doing, what are your achievements, etc. And that's how I started. And then I realized that the space then until now is so full of people talking about very few things, right? You see fintech, you see advice on growing, you see marketing, you see a lot of these streams, but you rarely see people talking about uncomfortable topics, be it social impact, be it gender equality, be it representation of women at the workplace. And I realized, since those were things I was extremely passionate about and still am, I decided I'm going to be somebody who talks about uncomfortable things on the platform. And yeah, that's how I started. And what's been happening is I've just entered this VC world, so I'm learning. Everything is very new. I'm running my nonprofit, doing a lot of things side by side as well. And yes, I had. Recently visited New York. I was a part of the Goalkeepers Conference, a part of the India delegation. And before that, I'd actually gone there to give a talk with a VC firm to female VCs about the work that I'm doing in India. And of course, when I went there, I felt like this is it. I just have to move there. So now another thing is added to my life goals that I want to move to New York. But yes, that's a little about me, what's happening, and why I started creating content.
So, like, this is an interesting journey, and this is an interesting take to take, like studying from LSR and now people taking placements from LSR, going into big companies, you starting something like your own that is also a not profit. We would like to know the business model really soon, but again, that's not a part as of now. But yes, one hint Anya has given that she wants to, kind of shift to New York. So, anyone here who's watching from New York, and Anya is just 23, she is not married, so probably this is the platform where you can probably put out a proposal in DM, and if you're in New York, you never know like what happens. Anyway, going ahead, we'll keep the fun going in. We'll move next to my fellow competitor Mahima Jalan, who's the founder of Sorted Brand, and it's kind of very tipsy, but I really do that. I go and check the post she's kind of doing, how she's getting traction, gain some insights, apply it in my account, and make sure that I get leads out of it. Anyway, going ahead, I've been like I invited iske pehle bhi on my show, and it was a great experience. Go ahead, Mahima, tell like how did you find the sorted brands? How did you get sorted with LinkedIn, and what's your journey like?
Great. Firstly, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. We have been, I think, collaborating more than competing with each other, which is amazing. And the stalking is happening from my end as well. So, keeping an eye on all your content and loving it. Now, just a little introduction about me. Firstly, I heard everyone else's introduction except Priya's, and I am blown by what you guys are doing. I feel like I've done nothing till now, but my journey was very, like, it started very candidly. Content creation happened very organically because I was figuring out what to do next in life. I was pursuing my masters in journalism, and during that time pandemic hit, and I knew it's going to be tough, and I'm probably not going to get any job, so I wanted some internship. And I that's how I landed on LinkedIn. Then I started noticing how people are creating content and posting. I remember back then there were creators like Pranjal Podar and Web of Sinti, and I used to see, oh my god, they're doing something, let me try. And my post used to get see 4 likes, 5 likes, but I still used to feel okay about it, and I never really you know uh, got bored of the platform. So aise karte karte I got into it. I got viral one day, and just like Yash, I got some 10, 12,000 followers by one post. So that what actually pushed me to take it seriously. Then I started getting some freelance gigs, but I was working as a freelancer all alone and just making 50,000, some 70,000 a month, and was happy with it. But then, as I started getting more leads, the business got bigger, and now I have a team of 12 people, and that's how Sorted Agency came into place. The name is actually taken from my private Instagram profile. When I was in college, I created an Instagram account, and the username was Miss Sorted. And back then, I used to enjoy it, although now I feel it's very cringe. But I used to get a lot of attention because of my username. So when I decided to start an agency and name it, I wanted to keep it a mix of personal and professional. The name, actually, the vision is to sort life of founders and CXOs with their brand building, but also it has a personal story. So that's about it. Also, apart from running an agency, I am a content creator, creating content on LinkedIn, Twitter, and now trying my hands on Instagram as well. So yeah, that's pretty much a very boring introduction about me. But would love to share more fun things I've done, in the session.
anything anything that has a money element in it is not boring again. When, like, how easily she said 50,000-70,000 rupees kama rahe the. I was like, okay. And then now I'm a team of 12 people. Like, for the people who are watching, some of like 50,000, 70,000 retainer is like a kind of dream. And so easily you said that. That's what bring me to the idea that the conversations we're gonna have is gonna be very insightful here. Thanks, Mahima, for the introduction, and definitely looking forward to talk more to you. Coming to last but not the least, Priya, whom I have been stalking as well, but not on LinkedIn, but on Topmate, because like she has so many bookings done that I'm like सारे लोग सिर्फ Topmate में प्रिया के साथ ही booking कर रहे हैं क्या? So that's what I saw, like I think so a month ago, while wo New York and was going on. And probably I don't know much about you, but I've seen a lot of things on your profile in terms of you doing keynotes and career, personal branding, everything. So I really am very curious to know about you, how you are managing so many things, and when did you start? You have also got a huge number of followers. So tell me something about that, Priya. Over to you.
Cool. So I think first of all, Yogesh, Mahima, Yash has been a very, very old friend. We have really collaborated and brainstormed a lot when we were starting with our content creation journey. Anya, love her
Very
work. I
happy,
started.
Priya. Just to interrupt you, at least यश हंसा तो सही, इतने देर से यश हंस नहीं रहा है. I'm like, bro, ये स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी ना, मैं इसको कैसे हंसाऊं, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है. I'm so happy you took the name of Yash and he laughed at me, smiled. Go
No, I
ahead, go
think
ahead.
as the conversation will unfold, no, we have a lot to maybe speak of. And Anya, I mean, just a fun fact, I followed Anya probably 2 weeks back from now, because I got to find her through some of the I think Instagram reel, and loved her work absolutely. And yeah, when she was speaking about her background, how did this journey start, I was legitimately thinking in my mind, why do I don't have to really go ahead and give my introduction. I can swap a few words out and in, and that would be my introduction, like quite legitimately. Just to let you all know, I've started like any other Indian household girl would do, be a doctor, be an engineer kind of confusion. I went ahead, took my admissions. I wanted to become a doctor. Within 1 week I realized, no, that's not going to happen. Hence I had to switch back to engineering, did my engineering for 4 years, got pretty decent grades, which again got me into a delusion that this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. Got into Morgan Stanley, got into Adobe, was doing fairly good there. Again, the delusion continued until something really, how do I put it, something really shaky happened to me in my life. COVID period was very, very different for me as compared to others. When I speak about, for them it's like it's the period of self discovery. They have gotten enough time, they sat back at homes, they realized what their fortes were. For me, it was the time of absolute distress. I mean, that was the time when I realized the actual crux of being alive. I lost a lot during that time. So that's when I realized, probably if I continue doing my 9 to 5, I'll earn good, I'll live the way, but more than living, I would die just how anyone else would do, right? Without doing absolutely anything in all of my life, and it'll go waste. That's when I realized, probably I don't have a lot. I'm not a thought leader. I wasn't a thought leader back then. I'm still not. I'm on my journey to learn a few more new things. But then that's when I realized there are people standing on the pedestal where I was standing a few years back. and I have gotten a little something that I can share with them, right? I have gotten a little bit of experience. I've gotten a bit of my networking progress, and I can probably go ahead, let people know on that. So that's how LinkedIn started for me. It started because my dad pushed me to just go ahead and share whatever little I have learned thus far with the people around. They might need it. And you will be shocked to know, but my LinkedIn, when did it really picked up? It really picked up. So I don't believe in virality, to be very honest. For me, it was never about posting daily. I still don't post daily. If you go and check my LinkedIn, I probably have not posted for last 2 weeks. It's not something that is a mandate for me, that come get up daily, just post something even if it's freshy. No, I don't do that. What I would rather do is I'll observe the things around, whatever is happening in my life, whatever is happening in the world around, and if I can contribute back to that in whichever way, maybe try to solve it or at least break it down simply for the people finding it quite difficult to navigate through it. And that's when I write about it. So, I mean, Yogesh, I mean, that would take a bit of a toll on the comic side of the conversation that we have had right now. But I want people to know about my journey so that they can also uplift themselves and can start. I still remember I lost my dad to COVID. I was in the hospital there for about 4 months. When I came down one day, my dad was on fourth floor. I came down on the ground floor, and that's where I realized I am going through a lot, but there were children who lost both their parents. Not even their mother, not even their father, no one from the family. They were probably in second year, third year, here and there, and now they were struggling to get even this thought in their mind that I would get back to my college someday, or I will be able to continue with my studies or not. And I, for a fact, knew I was in a lot better space. I was already in Adobe, and I knew for a fact that all these big FANG companies, they don't really need you to have a degree anymore. As far as you have skills, and getting skills, you do not require money in your pockets. You just need the right kind of mentorship and guidance. And that's when I started doing it completely offline. It wasn't social at all. I started connecting with a few people using my email, using my phone number. And when you ask me, Priya, you have so many calls on TopMate, that is a tale for another day. But I have so many calls because for the longest time, probably for an entire year, I kept it absolutely for free. I used to sit on calls day long, right? Ever since I think Ankit, who's the founder of TopMate, we have had really intimate calls back in time when he was actually brainstorming the idea of TopMate, how it would start. He would get on a call with me and fight legitimately. Priya, what the hell are you doing? You're sitting on calls for like 7 hours a day straight without even, charging a single rupee. And I used to tell him that probably, Ankit, this is how I want to do it, and this is the entire purpose I wanted to use this platform. I want to connect with people. So that's something which kind of garnered me a lot of love from my audience. Right now it's about 210K, but that vanity metrics is something I'm not concerned with. I'm concerned with, as far as I'm getting all those DMs that, Priya, because of you, this is something which has happened in my life. And trust me, I take screenshot. I still take screenshot. I used to take it back when I had probably 500 followers. I still do it, and I'll keep doing it. To me, impact is what matters, right? So that's a little bit about my story, and everything else continues. Being a part of panels, being a part of different, keynote sessions, getting awards here and there. That's just something which follows. To me, I think impact is what matters in the end of the day.
Totally makes sense. Like that was a roller coaster ride of me starting in a comic tone and going all together into the zone where we are talking about such stories. And
Yeah.
audience, there's a takeaway from here. Like there are two, three creators who talk about getting viral and getting their first set of followers. There's Priya talking about not thinking about the virality metrics. So you have to understand viral is not the only means to build a personal brand. And even like virality also helps, and not getting viral and having some kind of creating that impact that mostly Anya and Priya are doing. Like again, that's the kind of message that I want to pass for personal branding. Secondly, I noticed something that people should know, that when it comes to personal branding, your face is your logo. Like today when you walk in, like maybe you're in Bangalore or maybe Delhi or anywhere, if somebody is identifying you, hey, you're Mahima, you are Priya, you are Yash, you are Anya, that's because of your face. So your face is your logo when it comes to personal branding, which most of the people don't know, right? And because there will be no one to ask my introduction, I'll have to give it myself probably. That's the only thing that I have. So, okay. So I am basically right now the host for the event, but I've just founded 1 week ago a company called Revamp Tribe, where we kind of, we are a rebranding agency. We revamp the brands for entrepreneurs and coaches and make sure that brand positioning is better, they earn better, the business grows. But apart from that, I have also done talks. I've trained in, like, I'm a corporate trainer in, like, I've trained across a lot of corporates like Times of India, Amar Ujala, and I've spoken at a lot of colleges like IIM Calcutta, IIT Kharagpur. So probably I'm getting into the training industry more right now. And if you talk about a previous segment of my life, just to give you guys a hint, that 1 year ago, like November 2022, I quit my job. I had zero followers on LinkedIn. So the journey you see about establishing a business, having a team right now of 10 plus people, that is just in 1 year. And everybody out here, Anya, Yash, Mahima, and Priya, probably अगर आप एक साल पीछे जाएंगे या 1.5 साल पीछे जाएंगे, nobody knew them. So the idea for the audience is that if you start now, like, I know you have not started 1 year ago, but if you start now, when LinkedIn is already creating the buzz, you can create the same brand that these people have created, and they will give you insight today. Now, going ahead, these people have given me some kind of questions, but sorry, Organized, I'm not gonna be organized. I'm gonna be the chaos, and I'm gonna ask my own questions. So these questions are primarily not something I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask my own questions. Going forward with Yash first. So Yash, you're working full time with Mercedes, right? Like,
Right, yeah. Just before this call, I was in a meeting, office
okay,
meeting.
so you are work office call full time with Mercedes. Okay, now I'll tell you something that everybody wants to know. A lot of my clients are full time employees. When it comes to making a personal brand, they ask me one simple question: that मेरा boss क्या बोलेगा? And मेरा boss को ये नहीं लगेगा ना that I'm trying to sell something. So there's a very big glitch out there in the industry where the companies do not want us to grow personally. To be very frank, this has happened with me also. So how do you tackle how everybody who's a working professional today who's watching this, how they can build their personal brand, keeping the company's idea and goals and interest as well? Like, this is something that is asked by a lot of people, and I guess Priya, Mahima, and Anya will agree to this as well. This is like kind of important. Yash, go ahead.
Correct. Yeah, I think this question often arises when you work for MNCs or fan company or even some companies from automobile sector. So there has to be transparency when you are, building a personal brand or when you are trying to grow something on your own, right? So there will be always company policies. There will be always some regulation which are in place as soon as you join an organization. So you have to adhere to all those regulations, right? And whatever the content you are making, or whenever I go to a seminar, or whenever I go apart from a company, so I have to inform the management or the structure which is already in place. So I have to inform them, and I have to be in cognizant with all of them, right? So the only thing which often comes as it should not be conflicting with the interest of the company, right? For example, I work with Mercedes, and other day if I promote Tesla or any other automobile company, then it will be a area of conflict, right? So if you're not making a conflict with your current company's interest, in that case you will be already safe. But still, if you are trying to grow something on your own, or if you're trying to build something on your own, or if you're trying to do a lot of things which are not in common with your full-time job, in that case you should have to be transparent with the company, and always make sure that you communicate well with the company what you're trying to do. So yeah, that helps. I always try to do
Great
these
stuff.
things, and it doesn't bother till now.
Oh, that's nice. Like, I'm happy that like this perspective is great. You cannot promote Tesla because you're working in Mercedes. Didn't think it that way, but yes, this is very important. But again, a follow up question to this. Now you have gained followers. When you walk into the doors into the company inside Mercedes, and people know, okay, Yash has got 1.5 lakh followers. So what's the difference that has made in your life, in your professional life, when you enter the office now? So what is that personal brand ka impact on your professional life? The question to you again, like, this is a follow-up question.
Correct. I don't think it makes or kind of builds that kind of image, like a celebrity image, I would say. But somehow you become an asset to the company, right? So the company is also acknowledged that this particular employee has this number of following, or whatever the brand he has. So it kind of builds kind of a very smooth relationship, and you actually being acknowledged, and being seen as asset to the company. So whenever go to any public spaces, or whenever you are doing for some interdepartment meetings, so people kind of recognizes you, and it is kind of a asset to you, your manager, and the hierarchy on the top level, right? So that's the only thing which kind of makes an impression. But apart from that, I don't feel that kind of a celebrity feeling when I walk to the office on a daily basis.
Okay, great. So, see, you are celebrity for a lot of people out there, and everybody who wants to join Mercedes, you can flood the DMs of Priya. She's always ready to refer you. Okay, ऐसा इसने बोला नहीं, by the way. But still, I am very happy that, bro, you are really doing great in life, and we'll chat more now that we have met. I'll come to the second panelist, Anya, one of my favorites. Okay, so Anya, there's a beautiful question for you. Okay, you are a kind of role model for all the DU college students, first of all, before like anything else. When I go and talk to, okay, Anya, everybody knows Anya. Now, seeing you, a lot of students started building their brand out of DU. Now, I know those set of colleges, they are a part of my team as well, who are from DU colleges. The point is, like, there are a lot of students who are attending this session as well. Now, Jesse Yash ne bataya as a working professional how you can make your brand and again make sure that the balance remains. As a student also, I think so. A lot of people don't know how to make that brand for kya bolte yourself. So, what are your 3 to 5 points that you want to say for someone who's starting out as a student and they want to make a brand plus impact at the same time, the way you are doing? Over to you.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Priya. You said such nice words, and your journey is extremely inspiring. I know I couldn't unmute before, but I would have. So grateful to be on a panel with all of you here. And the next thing I would say is there's too much pressure that you've just put on me, saying कि I'm some sort of inspiration. मुझे ऐसे बिल्कुल नहीं लगता, and I hope कि ऐसा है भी नहीं, because like everybody said, right, we're all just work in progress. And some when people call me an influencer, I find it really odd, right? That means that anything that I do is going to influence people, which is anyway way too much responsibility than I want. Like, it's so much more than how I want to deal with life. Itni responsibilities वैसे ही है as adults. uh, Coming to how you said, right, impact and personal branding, how can they go together, especially if you're a student? What I would say and what I truly believe in, right, is I deeply feel for some causes, right? I am extremely passionate about gender equality, and of course, because of many reasons. Personal story है, या life में क्या क्या देखा है, क्या क्या नहीं पा पाई, बहुत कुछ है. um, so all of that really motivates me to do the work that I'm doing. And I feel like the work that I'm doing automatically plays a big role in my personal brand, because anything that I do is mostly revolved around things that I've experienced, things that I've started, things, initiatives that I've taken. And it's not just me giving advice on LinkedIn कि अच्छा आपको ऐसे करना चाहिए, here are 3 ways to earn more money, here are 5 ways to write a good resume, right? Because that then truly believes and depends on the knowledge of the person. But for me, a lot of it depends on my experience. So same for college students, right? You can't just get into social impact because you feel like it'll add that cherry on top to your resume while applying for jobs, because after a point of time you will get bored. It's not that entertaining, it's not as glorious as it sounds, and obviously it's not just charity work, right? You have to put so much of yourself in it, and unless you're deeply passionate about it, there are no two ways about succeeding or being able to create impact in the social sector. So I would say do things that truly move you or you truly feel personally about. And the second thing is, आप जो भी काम करो उसके बारे में बात करो. That is more than enough. There is no, at least I don't have a lookbook or any secret handbook to say, okay, this is how you should write your content, or this is how you should post on LinkedIn, or this is, like Priya said, right, I don't post every day. I post, sometimes I post 5 times a week, sometimes I don't post in 2 3 weeks also, because I don't have anything valuable to add. And this is the biggest advice I'll give to students. Just because you think creating content on LinkedIn is going to get you a job opportunity, get you a master's degree, it actually doesn't work like that. Unless you have something of value to add, it's okay if you don't speak. And if somebody has said it better than you, it's okay to repost. There's so many people who I follow talk about things and share lessons from their lives that are so much well articulated than I could ever do. And I'm okay with them doing that and not constantly thinking there is a small space and we all have to compete with each other. I feel like the content creation industry is so huge that no matter how many creators come, there will always be space, because every day you're seeing more and more people logging into LinkedIn to read content. So, to summarize it, I would say A, be as authentic as you can and let your work do the talking more than you just giving advice. And second, just post when you have some value add. Don't go for clickbaits, don't go for videos, don't go for things that you feel bus likes milenge and I'm going to go viral, because after a point of time people will not follow you. They may engage with your posts, but they're not going to know you for you. They're just going to know you for some random pieces of information and nuggets that you share.
That totally makes sense to me. So I have seen people who have made accounts and they have been just taking reels probably from somewhere and posting it on the platform. This will not make their brand. This will get them followership, but that will not create a brand positioning for them. Right? That's very important. So probably Anya, this is true because when I see your profile, if I think of three things, probably I can like three things will be women empowerment, women empowerment, women empowerment. Like, see, that's the kind of brand you want to build, right? So whenever you see someone's profile, you'll be able to know that what this person is all about. Like, that's the kind of position everybody. So this is the kind of again, after everyone talks, I'll try to give some nuggets, and the nuggets from Anya's speech here or the insight here is very simple. That you have to be authentic, but it has to be an authentic story from your end because it will connect to the people. Number one. Second, just don't post for the sake of it. As Priya also mentioned, that it is not important everyday posting, but you have to make sure when you post that is valuable. That's the second thing, very important. And third, when you are starting up as a student as well, you know, it's not just that you want to add it to your resume, that's why I make a brand. No, it should be like you love to write or you love to express. That can be one of the reason why you're starting, otherwise you will leave it. That is why probably, Anya, there are handful of people out of college who have made the brands. Like I have the names on my mouth exactly. I can take 10, 15 names. So that's the kind of brand they have made, and the other students are still sitting apart. Cool, makes sense. Thank you so much, Anya, for that insight. We'll come back to you. Going forward, we have Mahima Jalan in the house. So let's talk a little bit business now, okay? Personal brand and business kaise work karta hai. So you have started a whole and soul business out of LinkedIn, though you write on Twitter as well and make it on Instagram as well, but we'll talk about LinkedIn. Now, your personality is different than your business personality. It's very obvious. Like it's not important that it's both same. The values can be different. How do you create a balance between your personal brand and business brand? Because again, whenever somebody comes to your account, the first thing they see founder sorted brand. Now, how do you create that balance? That's number one. Second, probably 50-70 हजार उस टाइम कमा रहे थे, तो अभी कितना कमा रहे हैं आप वो बताइए. I hope income tax officials are not here, but anyway, we'll go for it. Chalo, go ahead.
No, I mean, even if they're here, it's okay. I pay my taxes, so that's not a problem. But to answer your first question, how I maintain a balance is firstly, I might not share something which might be irrelevant for LinkedIn, for example, whether it is parting with friends or anything which is not suitable for my personal brand on LinkedIn. I might avoid sharing it, but I will not fake it. I will not sit in formal clothes and put a picture because that might get better traction or people might find me more professional. I work in my t-shirts, even this meeting, this session I'm attending in my t-shirt, and that's how I am and that's how my pictures look like. So that's one thing, I don't fake it. And second, I in general, also in real life also, although I'm very different in like when I'm with my friends or family, but as soon as I start working with my team, with my clients, I am very professional and I try to be very like to the point. And like that's not how I am in real. I'm very fun and chill in real, but when I'm with my team, I try to be a little more serious and professional. So honestly, it's not that difficult. I mean, I'm just sharing my journey on LinkedIn. I'm just, whatever I share, it's actually real. It's just that I hide certain things which I don't find relevant for the platform. Now, coming to your second question, how much money I make. I mean, of course, you doing the exact similar thing, you will understand that it's not the same every month. It's different. So it's misleading to quote, you know particular number, because the next month it might just double or it might just reduce to half. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's in six figures, so you can just keep guessing. अभी वो starting में भी हो सकता है, end में भी हो सकता है. But
सटल वे में मैं बोल रही हूँ, मैं नहीं बताने वाली.
I mean,
This
of
is like
course,
a
of
certain way.
course.
I have seen Raj Shamani doing podcast, and Raj Shamani is always like, go and ask, okay, Amit Badana. Amit Badana, kitna? Amit Badana se recently asked that, okay, Amit Badana, how much are you earning? Amit Badana is like, bro, I have a lot of responsibilities to handle, okay? So I don't keep track of my accounts. He asked the same question to Gaurav Taneja or everybody. Everybody has their own way of handling it. And now I know why. And we talk about six figures and all. Again, see, it is totally fun question, to be very frank. We don't want to put numbers. To be very frank, you have to enjoy that business. That's very important. And from Mahima, we get a nugget that there's a difference between personal and private. Okay, let's get to it. So when we are making a personal brand, there are a lot of people who talk about private stuffs, which you should not do exactly. And nobody tries to make a difference between your personal or private mein difference kya hai. So probably this is something where there should be a little, you can say, differentiation that you should make. Secondly, this is very interesting insight that Mahima is very fun normally, but when it comes to sorted brand or the talking to the team, she is not the same because she has to. So it is just like कि वो जो English teacher या हिंदी टीचर जो क्लास में जब आप जाते हो, सो बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट है, आप उनसे बात नहीं कर सकते, बट वही घर में बाहर में अपने दोस्तों के साथ पूरा चिल कर रहे हैं. that is kind of the
No, not really. I mean, of course, I do fun with my team as well, but when it comes to work, I mean, we have to be serious because like there's so much of
right.
pressure, multiple client management, and then kabhi client is irritated for some reason. You have to handle the crisis, or there's so much happening at one time that you can't, like, the attitude should be right. It's not about we don't crack jokes or we are very serious at work. It's about the attitude should be serious. I mean, you do whatever you want, but at the end of the day the work should be taken seriously. So during those
Perfect.
peak productive hours I try to be serious and focused. But yeah, and also another thing that I would like to highlight is that at the end of the day it's all about your comfort zone. I mean, if someone is comfortable sharing about their private life, it's absolutely all right, because every day when I scroll LinkedIn, I see at least one to two posts which are very personal, which I feel कि यार ये मैं कभी ना डालूं LinkedIn पे. But people are very comfortable
Okay.
and their audience is enjoying it and maybe learning something from it. But it should actually resonate with your real personality. That's the whole thing. It should make you comfortable, your family comfortable.
Makes sense. No, that's a great insight. Thank you so much for such lovely insights, to be very precise. And again, people should take away these insights, note it down, and make sure they work on it. Thank you so much, Mahima. Coming to Priya. So I have a very interesting question. And this interesting question is because Priya, I guess you were also the part of the favicon list, if I'm not wrong. Were you there in the favicon? अभी देखो, अभी ना personal attack की बारी आ गई है. So basically, I'll tell you what I noticed. Now, these favicon people, they have this marketing strategy, as simple as that. Let's talk very simple. The marketing strategy is सबको rank करेंगे, they will post about it, and this will happen. Now, what I want to know, the list is good, but I have one thing that I want to ask you guys personally. एक तो निकला world, like top world 100, like 200, top 200. Then there were top 200 women. First question is why there was not top 200 men. Okay, that's my first question. Why? What do you think about it? Okay. Second, India ka the top 200 list is out. So I was checking that who are my competitors who are out there. Okay. And there are many, male candidates also there who are into personal branding industry, including me. Okay. And I've been not very active on LinkedIn. At least abhi the business build कर रहा था 2-3 महीने से post नहीं कर रहा. ठीक है. I'm okay. I'm out. But I saw out of 20 people, 19 are girls. Okay. So, Priya, how much do you think this is a question of the hour? Is the image that we put out there with the content really makes the content go viral? That's a real question, okay? That I am asking on the behalf of Janta. That's first question. And second question is, okay, it's about you, that you are managing Topmate and everything. You started free and then you got into your service. So what exactly is your technique to get leads when it comes to personal brand? That is also want to people want to know that personal branding. Say, how can you generate exactly the leads as well? So let's go forward and start with the first question first.
Okay, so to answer the first question, I think Yogesh, I wouldn't be the right person in the first place. I mean, if it's about women empowerment, Anya should take it. But yes, let me tell you, based on the rankings and everything, I very brutally, very honestly, very candidly think that there is no influence of adding a picture or being a woman. It's as simple as how good your content is. Because those rankings, if you see, are based on the scraping of data. And what that data is, what the impressions are, how many people reacted to it, right? How many people commented or resonated with it. And comments, by the way, also, Yogesh, there's a recent update in the algorithm too, that comments like, good share or great post or stuff like that are not being counted anymore. Only when there is like a really meaningful connect which a person is establishing in their comment is when it gets counted. So I don't think there is an influence. Now, speaking around the lines of how much does attaching a picture, that to being a girl, makes a difference on LinkedIn. So yesterday, like quite literally yesterday, I was going through a post by one of the top voices on LinkedIn, like the LinkedIn top voices, Anshuman Tiwari. He's the global head of operational excellence at DXT Technologies. And I loved the post, being a male himself, all that he posted was about don't be a crybaby. Okay, we as consumers, if we react more to the post wherein there is a pretty girl, she is posting her picture, then it's not the girl's problem. She's just leveraging the leverage that you have given to her. If you also start reacting the same way you do to a girl's picture, to maybe a guy's picture, normally casually hanging out with friends, then the guys also, can take up the leverage of that thing. They can also start to post many pictures around. And there is a very comic picture associated. And again, quoting what I mean, I don't know, Anya, why am I quoting you so much? But you just repeat back my words. That's something which is happening. So just when she said no, I would never try to speak on the lines when I know there's somebody else who can put it the best way out there. So everybody, I'm repeating his name, Anshuman Tiwari. Just open his LinkedIn account and read that one post. I think Yogesh, I won't be able to justify the way he has done it. Being a male himself, he has legitimately brutally gone loud about it, that hey everyone, it's you who react to girls' pictures, so it's not their fault. It's probably yours. Right? So that's the other part. Now, coming on the next question, which was about lead generation. So I, in particular, I am not someone who want to generate leads from LinkedIn. That's not what my intent is. My intent has been on the other side, right?
Hmm.
What about the intent that I post based on is once I start to post about people, I usually get approached by not just the students, by a few working professionals, as up to the ladder to some CXOs of all these startups and all these companies too sometimes. And they want to get back to me and understand the entire psychology behind having a personal brand. Because I really resonate with a few questions you put up here, Yogesh. People have misunderstood the concept completely. First of all, there is a mandate they have started to put on themselves that if you don't have a personal brand today, you're dead. No, you're not dead. Don't build a personal brand just for the sake of building it or just because everybody else is going blindly towards it. First of all, identify, do you have something within your personality which you feel is not acquired, which comes naturally to you, and that is something others can benefit from. So you should start sharing it. That's number one. Second, I also take up counseling, right? So sometimes you in your career, might be in your life, might be in your personal branding journey, you're absolutely lost. Then that's when you need someone to handhold you and to make you understand what the right path would be. For an example, if you see my profile, I'm not just into career management, neither am I just into personal branding. I'm also a bit into tech. I'm also a bit into traveling. So, very limited or very few people know it about me, but I'm a herophile by nature. I'm 24 right now. I've been to around 44 countries. So, that's also the side that I have. And what I let people know is it's okay not to have one niche. It's okay not to force yourself onto something, Google it out, find a few blogs, rewrite them at posts, and then post about them. It's okay that you have to cascade, that I'm all over the place. I have 4 to 5 specialties, and that's who I am. That's what my personality is. And if you resonate with my personality, let's connect. There's maybe something we can exchange on a positive light, right? So that's the other part. Next, how it turns into business for me, because I'm a founder now. I have Cuerik, that's my brainchild. Just like you, Yogesh, I left my full time job on my birthday, November 30th, 2022. Right. So that's how it began for me. And everybody who's watching this, yes, you'll have to take a few very difficult decisions. You'll have to step up, take a few risks, and that will all actually make sense after a few years, maybe after a few months for you. So, on those lines, how that turns into business for me is whenever, as a career manager, I find someone who's struggling with their career on different facets or note. It could be they don't know what to pursue next in terms of studies. Like, again, a lot of us, no matter whatever we have done in terms of our, undergrad or postgrad, maybe we are doing something absolutely different right now. So, that is where I kind of induce the kind of psychology we don't have in Indian education system yet. People who are not at all STEM oriented in terms of their psychology, they are still going for STEM subjects. People who might do really good in political science, probably they are far off from the subject, they have not even gotten exposed to it. So that's what I'm bringing in into India, and that's a bigger mission, not aiming to get it done probably in this year, but yeah, something that I'm working on. So lead generation is not something, again, which I target at all.
Perfect. Makes sense. Thank you so much for insights, Priya. And I'd really like to bring up some conversation on these insights. Number one, starting from the question that I asked, the reason for asking that question was as giving a reference to Anshuman as well. Or most of the people don't know. Anshuman is my mentor. We talk every single day, and we keep on having a lot of conversations around these things, and probably we are working on bigger projects together as well. Anshuman is that one personality with whom I had my first video call ever on LinkedIn when I was starting off LinkedIn, and that was through LinkedIn video call. I didn't even know LinkedIn ka video call hota hai, khud se message
True.
mein. So that was the first video call I had, and he guided me. I was like, "Hey, what should I do?" He told me, "Ye karo." That time was no one. That person did not only paid me with time, he paid me with a confidence. है ना कि Yogesh is no one, still that guy is talking to me. So
I
from
know.
there our journey started. So that's the person I look forward to. So his thoughts resonate with me. He also, I love what he does. Like, he cannot comment on every post, but he goes and like every post that is there. Like, he shows his support to people who are writing. So that's a very beautiful discussion. If you would have been there, I've been really happy as well. Second thing, when it talks about the girl, this pictures and all, like recently when you talk about Rajshamani, बोला कि Rajshamani ने एक बात बोली कि जैसे LinkedIn को हम Instagram जैसे बना रहे हैं. We are just,
Hmm.
loving those pictures to come. It creates like a hook. Let's understand that.
Yeah.
The idea is not about girl or boy. First of all, the picture, when you talk about Instagram also, the same sort of things happen. Till you're a brand, like again, you are MS Dhoni, your pictures will have a lot of likes and all. So the idea is to make it out there and people to know as well. Favicon list is just a kind of those numbers and rankings that will come and go. And I'm very happy for the people who are there. It is just that when we talk about LinkedIn as a platform, I started 1 year back, there were no pictures coming in. It has changed a lot.
I
Now people have
agree.
started. Exactly.
I
So
I
that's the
couldn't
difference that
agree
has
more.
made.
So if you ask me on my personal opinion, I mean, I would love LinkedIn team to hear this out. In, I mean, not just me, a lot of creators, like, like when we started probably 1.5 year back, we in particular do not really like this as an increment. Why so? Because trust me, just to make sure that my content is going out and the algorithm does support it the way it is supposed to support the content as per the updated rules right now, we have to dig into our galleries and find a relevant picture. Just like Mahima said,
Correct.
we are not someone, we don't go out and keep kicking pictures here and there. We probably are sitting back there in t-shirts, and all of us right here, none of us, really looked as if we pepped up for the session or something. We just candidly, all of us, we have came down to our studies and
Probably
started.
at least girls have pretty pictures. They know how to click. We boys are like just keeping your hands in the pocket, and that's the
I
pose we know.
know.
and,
I know.
and
I
that's
mean,
kind of picture we have, 2 3 pictures.
people have started
you can
telling me
you can
around the
ask
corner.
Yash. You agree to this? We probably have 2 3 poses. That's it, and we are
Correct.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So So that's the idea I wanted to make. And also, I'll add here that when you talked about there are people like Justin Welch who don't post pictures and still is the biggest name on LinkedIn. So again, those example does come in front of me as well. He has never been fond of posting pictures. Still, algorithm came, algorithm gone. Nobody is able to remove him from that spot. Then
True.
came Jasmine again, who came into the zone and he started doing stuff where Jasmine was also not posting. Recently, वो थोड़ा सा डालना चालू किया. So we are seeing that trend shifting as well. Second, we talked about lead, Priya. The thing that we talked about, the idea was very simple. I'm not talking about lead. Now you have a button called book an appointment. Probably Mahima has that button, and the people who have services have that button. It's about how much like that button everybody can have. But
Hmm.
probably वो button click होगा कि नहीं वो आपके brand के ऊपर depend करता है.
True.
There can be a lot of career coaches, but whom are you booking appointment with? That's the idea. Maybe I could not frame the question properly, gave it a name of lead. It could have been a, you make a fun, how personal branding helps in the funnel or conversions and a lot of those things, because a lot of people make the brand. The reason is, अब जैसे JBL को nobody could have removed. When Aman Gupta came and he introduced this as a lifestyle product, and Aman Gupta as someone himself is cool, people started taking the boat product even more seriously. So that's the kind of brand narration I was actually talking about and bringing the light onto. Exactly.
For that,
And
for that,
yeah,
Yogesh, I've kept it really simple. To that, my answer would be relatability. What I have tried to focus on is I try to make my brand as relatable as possible to all the versions of myself over the past few years. I was a job seeker also. I was from tier 3. I don't really like the distinction, but yeah, if that's there, I was there. I also tried to get my hands onto bigger brands. I wanted to enter Fang. That was also a time. I worked with Fang. And then every single pedestal, you like, again, all of us, I'm sure, we talk a lot about our life experiences, and that's what I try to do a lot. And I just let them know that, see, this is who I am, this is what I did, and this is what happened. And then people, obviously, Yogesh, I think a few of your questions are so on point because they are answering a lot of questions people have in their mind. They're not generic or per se, they're not out of just the same age old book. Some of them are really relatable on the lines that when I'm posting something, people might have that, hey Priya, it might work for you, you got lucky, it might just not work for us. Why the hell should we come over a 1 hour call at all? So on those lines, what I let them know is also the work that I do for my clients. If, let's say, you go back to my profile, if I've connected with somebody and that's some story which has touched me inside out. So there was this professional I connected with in February, 17 years experience into all tech. It was purely tech. Now he wanted to get into managerial. After managerial also, he does not want to be in a pure people management role. He wants to get into techno managerial. He's like, I can't leave my roots. I know I have to, leave this bar of being an IC. So that's how I let people know you're not unique. This is not just
next.
happening to you, happens to everybody.
Cool. That's a great session altogether. I would just like to wrap it up with first of all thanking all of you, but bringing lessons from everybody. Starting from Yash, the lesson is you can work in a full time job and still manage to make your personal brand, which stands out, and have that balance of working in an organization like Mercedes and still like being an employee. You can go out there and post which most of the people think is a taboo that you should not if you're a part of an organization. So great thing there. Yes, to be very frank, people can learn that from you. Coming to second is Anya. What we can learn from her is like very simple. You can start out very early, even when you're in college. Like when she was leaving the college, she started. And LinkedIn or branding is not only about selling everything or anything. It is about making an impact. What she has been creating with this LinkedIn. So when I think Anya, I think women empowerment, I think impact, I think her hug. So that's the kind of impact she has created. So people can learn that personal branding is not only about getting the money or leads. It's about creating impact. When it comes to Mahima, what we can learn is you can establish a full-fledged business out of this particular platform, which is LinkedIn, and you can just make sure that your entire life you can do a business from here. That's the kind of powerful this platform is. You just have to strategize it very properly. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing that Mahima teaches. And what we learn from Priya is that you can have different niches. Like she's into career, she is into personal branding, she is into a lot of stuff, which exactly we are very, when it comes to any career coach, they say one thing: niche down, niche down, niche down. अरे बाबा, and where Priya stands out, अभी सबसे ज्यादा followers उसी के हैं यहाँ पे, and like she is having multiple niches, and that is where I think so. This is an impact. So everybody has a different lesson to provide, and this is what the session is all about, to learn different personal branding lessons from each one of you. Thank you so much, Mahima, Yash, Anya, and Priya. And probably
But
if I want you
Well,
to,
before
go
we
ahead.
wrap up, Yogesh, before you continue, I have a quick question for you. You have been, such an entertainer all this session. You really wrap it up really well. What's that one takeaway that we can take from you and you would want your audience to know on personal branding? I would come just take the charter bait in here and I would want you to answer that question for us.
Uh, I have one quote that I resonate a lot with, that you cannot go back and change the beginning, but you can start now and change the ending. And that's what stick by me. When I met an accident, I lost my ring finger in November. Before that, I'm a person who had like been a like who has tried to commit suicide, and like because of mental health in 2021. I had a very bad history. I have always hustled, but the point is, the takeaway that I always feel that it is not just about LinkedIn. It's about that बहुत प्यारी बात संदीप मशहूर ने की थी कि ना दौड़ना है ना रुकना है, बस चलते रहना है. सो आई नेवर स्टॉप्ड. आई ऑलवेज, अगर मेरे पास आइडियाज नहीं भी रहता है, सो आई कीप ऑन डूइंग समथिंग और द अदर. And that's how I became sorted in this 1 year journey of mine. And today I'm very happy to say that my full family is running just because of this one platform pura. I was working with Byju's, and it was having a good handsome salary I was bringing in home. I am able to replicate that whole salary today here from LinkedIn. So that's a takeaway. I should say that, like, आप हो सकता है आप हर रोज उतना क्वालिटी पोस्ट ना कर पाओ, हो सकता है आप रोज शो अप ना कर पाओ, बट डोंट स्टॉप इट. लाइक just keep on doing that little effort, and from there I've reached where I am. So that's a takeaway that I would like
Sure.
people to give, that start today and change the ending if you could not have changed the beginning. At least that's all.
Commendable, Yogesh.
यार
I
बहुत
mean,
इमोशनल हो गया यार माहौल.
after
Hasi नहीं
this
लग रहा मुझे.
session from you and everybody, I think Mahima, Yash, Anya, I mean, can we believe the kind of backstory Yogesh had? And that's the beauty I think we bring along in such sessions. Thank you so much. I personally would want to thank you here, Yogesh, because I know I've not been onto that verge, but yes, I know how difficult it gets. But anyways, thank you for
Correct.
making this session super fun for all of us.
Let's click a, at least just Shubham, come on, and let's click a victory selfie. At least I can take a
For sure,
screenshot.
for sure.
Everybody, Anya, I cannot see you. Your hand. Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
Shubham.
So
One,
it's
two,
done.
three.
Yeah, it's already
Done.
done. Thank you so much. Everybody's expression was really good. So thank you so much, Yogesh, and you moderated it so well. Like I literally enjoyed that particular session. एक घंटा, थोड़ा थोड़ा कभी बोर हो जाता है, but you literally didn't let us feel that. So and thank you so much, Priya, Anya, Mahima, Yash, and for joining this particular platform. And I hope the vision I had for creating this particular conference, just aligned with the LinkedIn, and LinkedIn particularly, start doing something for creators, and brands can leverage this particular platform. So let's surely collaborate in future, and I hope I'll come up with this very soon, and just see you then. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shubham, for bringing this on, and putting us together on one platform. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you so much.